We are going to begin with those veterans here on Comunidad del Valle. They're trying to form their own Veterans Resource Center at San Jose State University. With me are Damian Bramlett, a veteran, and also Omar Teutle on Comunidad. Is that pronounced correctly?
Yes, it is.
Right, briefly, tell me about your service, your military service, if you will, before we get into the needs there that you feel you need at San Jose State.
I spent about 4 years in the Army as an infantry soldier. From 2001 to about 2005, and since I got out in 2005, I've been pursuing higher education up until last year when I finished a graduate degree at San Jose State.
What about you, Omar?
I'm a sergeant in the United States Marine Corps Reserves, selected for Staff Sergeant, and done 3 tours, 2 in Afghanistan and 1 in Iraq. Been in since 2006, and finished my political science major before going on my 2nd tour. And then just recently returned from my 3rd tour not too long ago, and I'm pursuing a MPA at San Jose State University.
Very good. What is it that motivates you guys to, I mean, you've served your country already, and now the need to better educate yourselves, I guess, because your education in the military must have been pretty amazing. Why take it a step further? It's a dumb question, but I got it.
No, I think for me personally, I've always wanted to push myself as much as possible and test my limits. And for me, it was pursuing, furthering my education, because I had an associate's degree before I got into the Army. But once I got out, I decided, okay, I need to get my bachelor's, because that's the only way I want to be able to get a viable career, to be successful in life. And then once I got in and started doing my bachelor's degree, I realized, no, I want to go the next level up and get a master's. And then even now, I'm still contemplating if I'm going to go for a PhD or not.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Omar?
For myself, just pretty much being an immigrant. Migrated here when I was 8 years old. I'm 30 now. And I feel that it's my moral duty to go ahead and represent those who are, underrepresented immigrants. I know what it's like to be an illegal alien. So I feel that, I want to go ahead and portray a positive, image of all immigrants, so, not just Latinos, just immigrants overall.
So you were undocumented in this country, and you decided, I still want to serve it.
Yes.
Tell us about that will within you that says, this is the direction I want to take this.
Well, as I mentioned, I came here when I was 8, and, everybody, a lot of folks that I've encountered, expressed their sort of, challenges that they had, while being here in the U.S. Discrimination, unfortunately, still exists, prejudice, But when I came here, my family and I, we had the doors open from a lot of folks. So I feel that, as an immigrant, I want to go ahead and give back, because I've been given so much.
When you first enlisted, did you imagine you'd be serving 3 tours?
To be honest with you, no. No, I wasn't. But, I took it as it came, and in the Marines, we always like to say that's what we're for. So that's what we're for.
All right. Well, I do have some video, and I shot some video about a year ago over at Foothill Community College in Cupertino. They have a Veterans Resource Center, and about 400 veterans are at Foothill, and they just brag about the tools that they're obtaining at this Veterans Resource Center. Damian, why do you think we need that at San Jose State?
Well, to kind of backtrack a little bit, when I first started there at San Jose State as a grad student, there really wasn't anything other than the GI Bill certifying official. And then we kind of started, I felt lost there. And then we kind of started putting together different resources. There was a veteran student organization that was started in 2009. More recently, I transitioned out of school, and then I work a job with the VA on campus where I provide services to vets on campus. And part of my job is to pull in more resources for vets. And I think it's key for veterans to be successful as students and to make that transition from the military world back into the civilian world as positive as possible and as fluidly as possible. And it's a long process. So I think having those tools in place really help to kind of expedite that and to make it a much better transition than if they just showed it back in the civilian world and no real direction on where to go.
So these folks have been pushing for a couple of years and nothing's been happening. I want to do this. I want to take a break and then come back and ask you a couple more questions about this effort to bring a Veterans Resource Center to San Jose State University. There are a couple of websites that you can visit. One is actually at San Jose State, and they give you resources. So log on to that website. And then you have a Facebook page for the Veterans Student Organization that is on there. So we'll be back and talk more about why this is needed at San Jose State when we continue. Omar and Damien next to me are veterans of our armed services. They're trying to open up a Veterans Resource Center at San Jose State University. Now, at the time of this taping, we've emailed San Jose State to see what's taken so long and maybe approving a resource center. They, in all honesty, said it'll take them 24 hours to get back to us, so that's why we're not able to have a response. But what response have y'all gotten so far from the administration, from the Board of Trustees?
Well, we've time and again, we've approached, the president and obviously, his people. We've even offered to go ahead and have him as a honorary member of our veteran student organization. And unfortunately, we have not gotten a stern response as far as, hey, I'm sure the president will, like to attend your meetings. Or mostly it's been, we'll pass this information along to the president. And,
do you think the delay is in giving y'all a resource center? Is it the capacity, the space, or is it a funding issue?
The university says that it's a space issue. Currently there's a lot of construction projects going on, a couple $100 million worth. Funding is not the issue because we're very confident that we don't need funding from the university. We're not asking for money. We can easily raise the funds from the outside community, as other resource centers have done, such as City College San Francisco and a few others in the local community.
Again, I just want to be fair because we don't have the university here to reply. Sure. But what about those, Omar, who say, what's the big deal in having a resource center?
Well, it's significant for the simple fact that we got a lot of men and women who are now transitioning from the military back into, civilian life. And a lot of these, bright young folks want to go ahead and pursue higher education. The hard thing about it is most of them, unfortunately, suffer from, disorders such as, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Sure.
And at the same time, they also have other issues, as far as, hey, I want to go ahead and use my GI Bill, but I don't know who to turn to or who do I speak with, and sometimes they get the wrong information. So having a Veterans Resource Center on campus would be beneficial for the simple fact that it's going to be helping out a lot of veterans transition smoothly.
And I would imagine that walking into the door of the administration is a little more difficult than walking into a door of a resource center where some of your peers are there who've experienced what you've experienced and are you're able to relate to. Easier to walk through that door.
Much easier. I know for me it was always difficult having to deal with a civilian, not to speak badly of civilians, but I would much rather have preferred to have dealt with another vet or somebody that's very familiar with veteran culture and military culture and how to interact best with veterans.
I mean, and especially now, we have so many returning service members from Afghanistan, and the numbers are going to double.
Right.
So I would imagine now is a vital time to make sure that we provide them what they need.
Yes, it's very important because obviously due to the sequestration,
right.
There's a lot of cuts, in the Defense Department, and obviously, you're going to have a lot of the branch services such as Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard. They're going to be discharging a lot of their men and women. So obviously, these men and women want to go ahead and update their skills and progress and earn a higher education
That they've earned. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we'll extend an invitation to President Mo, President of San Jose State University, and if you'd like to come on and talk about maybe why there's a delay, maybe how something can be done to help you all out, we will do that as well. thank you all for what you're doing. Let's show you the websites one more time. One is the San Jose State website that does have resources for veterans, just not a resource center, and then the Facebook page for the Veteran Student Organization. Thank you all so much, first for serving, and second for what you continue to do. All right. And up next, you're on Comunidad del Valle, some amazing entrepreneurs. Stay with us.